Hey friends, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Becca, and in today's video, we're going to dive into the April 2023 Ginger Quilter Box. Before I dive into the contents of the box, I do want to let you know you should stick around to the end because I've got a special surprise for you. Let's just dive right into it so that we can get to that surprise at the end. This is what the box looks like. It did get damaged a little bit in shipping, but that's not Natalie's fault. Inside the box, we have our tissue paper. Open it up, and then our documentation and all of our goodies. You can kind of see a little bit of a sneak peek. So let me know down in the comments below if you can tell what's inside from that shot. But this is our pamphlet that's going to walk us through everything that's in the box. In fact, this is always written kind of like a letter from Natalie to the box subscribers to help you understand what's in here and why she curated the box the way she did. I'm going to use this pamphlet to help us dig into all the items that are inside. But before we do, let me read you the intro in the pamphlet. She says this is the Stash Buster box, obviously for April 2023. And she said, let's bust a move on your fabric stash. I look forward to this box every year. It's the only theme that I repeat regularly. Since my personal color preference always lean pink and purple, I decided to push myself in a different direction. So this year, I went with a monochrome aqua palette, which, if you've seen my sewing room, you know I like the aqua colors. She said it feels kind of oceany to me and makes for a great all-season quilt. Let's use this to dive in so we can get to the good stuff at the end. The first item that we have in a box is a sweet treat. It is a package of cotton candy, but not just any cotton candy, it's blue cotton candy. Natalie writes, I wanted to include cotton candy in the box for a long time, and I'm excited that it finally worked out. I hope this yummy little puff will bring you a smile and a moment of enjoyment while you're working on your Ginger Quilter Box this month. This would have come in really handy during my trip to Vegas this month, because you can never have enough hand cream when you're in the desert. We have a little tube of Pearl Glow hand cream. She says, I feel like we hear a lot about self-care these days, and I'm all for it. It's important to take some time for ourselves so that we have the mental and physical fuel to work effectively and help others. So, when was the last time you nourished your hands? I am probably the guiltiest when it comes to not taking care of my hands. She says, they work so hard for us, especially as quilters, so let's show them a little love. Indeed, Natalie, let's see what this smells like and feels like. I've actually never heard of this brand. It looks like it's from Avery Beauty, and it's called Pearl Glow. I just put a little bit in my hands and I'm rubbing it in. It feels really good. It doesn't feel super greasy. Definitely feels like my hands are being moisturized. And it has a really clean scent to it. I like it. I think I'm going to put this in my purse and put it to some good use. And by the way, it's in a blue tube. Very on point. Our pattern this month is called Happy Stripes. Natalie writes what she loves about this pattern is how it shows off all of your fabrics. All the strips are big enough to appreciate each print, and this is a simple and quick sew, perfect for beginners or any level. I really hope you enjoy this project. Now, the pattern does showcase lots of different colors in this, so you could do this in a variety of different prints, a variety of different colors, but as Natalie mentioned, she really wanted a monochromatic scheme or palette to work with, and so for that, we have a bundle of aquas and blues. I'm going to show those to you right now. Here are all the fabrics. There's lots of fat quarters here. Natalie says this is a Stash Buster bundle, and she says the stack of fat quarters has two purposes. First, to be pretty and to get you excited to sew with it. And second, to give you lots of possibilities to add blues, greens, and aquas from your own fabric stash. She has given us enough fabric to make the baby size quilt, but with additions from our own collection, you can make this as big as you want. So this is a much larger piece. We have 8 fat quarters plus about 3/4 of a yard of this beautiful fabric that I think is probably supposed to be your accent fabric. Though wouldn't it be fun if I found an accent fabric for my stash to use and I used this stripe for the binding? I love a stripe on the binding. There's another fun notion in the box, and it's a blue seam ripper. Natalie says that a subscriber told her recently that she would like to see a seam ripper in an upcoming box. Well, voila! You asked and I delivered. You can never have too many of these kicking around your sewing room. And this is blue, just like the rest of the box. Way to keep the whole box on point, Natalie. Speaking of Natalie, that is the surprise that I have for all of you. I had the pleasure of chatting with her this week because her box is now open for enrollment if you are looking to get your hands on one. So let's roll that little chat that we had. Natalie, thank you so much for agreeing to chat with me. I got my April box. I've opened it up. I've shown everybody what's inside. And I got to tell you, the color palette might not be your preference, but it certainly is mine. So thank
Oh,
you for
good.
this one. I just
That's
wanted to
perfect.
grab your attention for a few minutes because I know that there are some fun announcements that you have. And I thought a great way to let people know about what's coming is to talk with you one on one. So I've got a few questions for you if you have a minute to answer them.
Totally, I'm in.
Perfect. Let's start with the one that you get all the time. How did the Ginger Quilter Box get born? How did it come to be?
Well, the Ginger Quilter Box was born in 2020, and it was before the pandemic, but right before. So I don't know if that was luck or not, but it was. I had belonged to a subscription box that ended. They just decided they weren't going to do that anymore as part of their business, and I was devastated. I thought like I just looked forward to it so much every month as a quilter that it was fun and exciting. You never knew what was going to come. And it was just a little surprise every month. And so then when they ended, as far as I knew, that was the only subscription box for quilters. And I didn't know any better. I didn't know there were other ones out there. So because that was the only one I knew of, I thought, well, if they're not doing it, somebody else needs to do it. And so I felt like that was my calling to carry on the torch, right? And as it turns out, there are lots of other subscription boxes, um, but I'm glad I didn't know that at the time because I wouldn't have wanted that to stop me. Because I love sending out boxes every month. I love providing this inspiration to people, and sending out quilt kits every month is my favorite. So that's how it came to be. It's been growing ever since June 2020 was our first box that we sent.
That's right, because I got the first one was July 2020, and when I got that box, you sent me June for free when you saw my unboxing video. I was smitten. What I really loved about it was that it was a kit. I have gotten several boxes and not all of them are kits. And so sometimes you get a box with just a little bit of fabric or just a little bit of notions or just a pattern, but you got to bring something else. And what was nice about this is I could get the box, open it up, and sit down and start making the project. Wouldn't always make a great big king size quilt, but honestly, for the price that you're selling the box, I wouldn't expect to make a king size quilt out of this box.
Right, right. So that is one thing that we've always focused on. Sorry, I accidentally minimized you for a second.
No
We've
problem.
always focused on sending full size quilts because um, the point is to get you to spend the time sewing, and that so no more trips to the store. I want you to not worry about picking out the fabric or anything like that. You just got to sit down and sew because that's where the fulfillment comes in. It doesn't always matter what you're sewing, but your fulfillment is going to come from creating. And hopefully, what we choose is something that you would like. So that it does matter a little bit what we're sewing, but you know what I mean. It's the time spent being creative that really brings that fulfillment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think every box is gonna always have that small issue, right? Where you're not gonna satisfy 100% of the people 100% of the time. You're gonna get a subscription box. You are agreeing to get a surprise in the mail, and there might be months where that box just is not hitting it for you. But then you're
Right.
gonna get months where you're like, OMG, this is the best box ever.
Yeah, and hopefully it's something that maybe you wouldn't have picked, but you
Yeah,
still love.
yeah, I've had a couple boxes that have pushed me out of my comfort zone. I'm just like, "Oh, absolutely not. I would never work with that." And then now I find myself being like, "You know what? Actually, that was kind of fun." You did
Yeah.
a member spotlight with me a month or so ago, February, because it was at QuiltCon. I gave you a QuiltCon picture. But
Oh,
you did
yeah.
a member spotlight with me and you asked me a question that I'm gonna turn around and ask you. You
Oh
asked
boy.
me what my favorite box ever was, and I had a hard time picking it, and so I just went to one of my most recent finishes that I knew came from a Ginger Quilter box. So I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite box?
I think my favorite was probably the Jane Austen box. That went out in February, that same month, of 2023, and, I think why I loved it, I just felt so excited to plan everything that came in the box. There was a quilt that was called the Miss Woodhouse quilt, so that was from a reference to Emma, the
Yep.
book Emma from Jane Austen, and then I found these little peppermints right here, they're called Pride and Peppermints. I don't know if that glares.
Yeah.
Anyway, and, like, that's just too clever, I can't not put that in there. And then I found a candle that had an Emma quote on it, and it was just too much fun. I It just came so easily, and I just felt really inspired by choosing all these things, and so I think that was my favorite one to plan for sure.
I gotta tell you, I remember getting that box and doing my unboxing video, and I was reading the pamphlet, and I missed the blurb in the pamphlet when I was reading through it for the video that said you were gonna talk like Jane Austen, and I just started picking up on it. I was like, "Man, Natalie does not normally write her pamphlets like this. It
See,
sounds like she's trying to be extra
here
fancy." And there it was. You're like, "Okay, enough talk of the Jane Austen speak for a minute. Let me just cut it down and get real with you."
that is so funny. I'll tell you a secret about that. I actually wrote the whole thing exactly how I would normally write it, and then I plugged it into Chat GPT and I said, "Rewrite this like Jane Austen," and what it came up with was so perfect. I was like, "Oh, yep, we're plugging and playing here." It was so fun.
I discovered ChatGPT for all the fun things, and there's a lot of quilters out there that are like, "What is ChatGPT?" Because they're not
Oh,
necessarily tech savvy. I'll just tell you, ChatGPT is like a robot that does all of the stuff for you.
it can write a lot of things, which is great.
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we talked about the favorite boxes. We talked about your ginger quilter box, how it came into existence. I've been getting these for a while. I know what to expect, but if you meet somebody on the street who has never heard of the ginger quilter box before, what are you going to tell them they can expect from the ginger quilter box?
All right. So every month it comes with 5 things. The first one is a pattern. The pattern in the past has been from other pattern creators. Starting in May, this upcoming box, I am releasing exclusive pattern. Sorry, I'm hearing my microphone. I think it's
Oh,
talking to me. Um, Anyway, so you're gonna have a pattern. Now, in May, it's gonna be the first month that I'm releasing exclusive pattern written by me. And so moving forward, I'm hoping that I can start to release exclusive patterns to my box that are only gonna be released to my box for the first 6 months. So that's kind of a benefit of joining. Okay, so back to the 5. We've got our pattern, the fabric to make that project. I'm gonna include as much as I can to make that as easy as it is, as easy as I can to get you to just open the box and start sewing. Number 3, you're gonna get a notion. That could be a seam ripper, a tape measure, a rotary blade, anything, something fun. Hopefully, and I try to stay on theme on that one, but I still need it to be useful to you, so a
right.
notion. Then you're gonna get a treat and a gift. The gift could be a candle, a scrunchie, a chapstick, and the world's my oyster when I'm choosing those things, and it's really fun to pick out the gifts especially, so
Yeah, I appreciate that sometimes those gifts are not quilty related.
yeah,
When you did the You Are My Sunshine box, you gave us a wooden sign of a sun and it
mhm.
says shine on it. And I actually put it on the top of my shelves. I
That
can't
was probably
be
one of my
honest with
favorite
you.
gifts I've given.
Sometimes those gifts are not up to par. Like I shouldn't say not up to par. I should say they're not my cup of tea. I'll be like,
Uh-huh,
okay, but they make excellent gifts to pay forward. So
yeah.
I can either reuse them, regift them, or keep them for myself. But it is
Yeah,
nice to get like that little something that's not going to be fabric, it's not going to be notion, it's not going to be thread. It's a little extra bonus item that's in the box.
perfect. I'm
I
glad
love
to
it.
hear that if they're not for you, I'm glad that they get purposed for someone else.
That's right. That's right. So we talked about the ginger quilter boxes and what you can expect in them. But speaking of what to expect, I like to know secrets. Is there a secret you can share with me about a future box? I promise I won't tell anyone.
Ooh, let's see. Okay, so for this May upcoming box, I've alluded to it being I've told everyone that it's a um, summer camp theme, but it's going to be
That's that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm convinced the Maybach sounds amazing. I can't wait to get mine. If somebody wants to sign up for your box, what do they do? Where do they go? How much does it cost? When does it ship? All that other stuff. Give me all of the details.
okay. So we ship on the first day of every month. That might shift a day or two if it ends on a weekend because we just do Monday through Friday. But so plan on it shipping the first of the month. This month we are opening our cart. So we don't always have an open cart for new subscribers, but right now we do. So if you want to get in on this Maybox, right now is the perfect time. So you're going to go to gingerquilterbox.com and you'll be able to subscribe there. All the links are live and it can walk you through everything. The price is dependent on how long you commit to for the sign up. You can either go month to month, cancel anytime, no pressure, and that's 66 a month with free shipping. You can do a 3 month subscription, which means you just pay upfront and then you automatically get your 3 months delivered, and then it will rebill after 3 months. And again, you can cancel anytime, but those 3 months are paid upfront, and that is $195. And then 6 months, I don't know if I know that number. It ends up being 63 a month, but it's times six. So it's three something. But you guys can look at the website, it's all there. And so 6 months, you do get a discount a little bit each month if you commit to 3 or 6 months upfront.
So we've got all the details about how to sign up, but I know one of the things that's a little different with your box is that you can't sign up all of the time. You have a wait list thing going on. You want to talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah. So I could get into all the nitty gritty about why I do that. I know it's different. But the main reason is so that I can make sure I have the exact amount of fabric and supplies that I need for every box. Because when the number of my subscribers is always changing, the amount of supplies I need is always changing, and that's a tricky target to hit.
Yeah.
So, but also what that does for you is makes you feel like you're really on the exclusive in crowd when you're in the box. So we open the cart about 3 or 4 times a year. And so for a few days, we're open to new subscribers. That's happening right now. So you'll just want to go to my website. The cart is open. All the links are live. You can go ahead and subscribe right now. If you do decide in next week that you want to join, great. We're so excited to have you. You'll just need to join the wait list. And then as soon as we have openings, then you'll be notified either through email or when we open the launch again. So if you are on the wait list, we will reach out and say, hey, we had a few cancellations. Do you want to hop in? And it'll just go like that. So you won't necessarily be waiting until the next time that we open, um, but you won't necessarily get in right away either. So
So
if you
you're
want to,
basically capping the number of boxes that you're committing to for 3 months or 6 months, and
yeah,
you're going with the ebb and flow. That I mean, that makes sense. You're a shop of one. You're doing this all on your own. You don't have a team that can size up or size down based on what the fluctuations are. So I totally get it.
right.
So you said the link is live right now. When does the link close?
It closes on Thursday. So that is what, the 27th? Yeah.
Okay.
So midnight on Thursday, the 27th. So do not miss out. Also, I want to chime in that there's two bonuses that you can snag right now. The first one, if you subscribe today, you're going to get a pair of sparkly, shiny, pink little mini scissors and an
Ooh.
exclusive patch that has the Ginger Quilter box on it. So you can put that on your bag, on your jean jacket, on your Letterman jacket. I don't know where you want to put it, but it's super cute. And then the second bonus is one that's just special for Becca. If you subscribe and use the code Becca, you will also get a bonus seam ripper in your box. So you have the
Awesome.
potential, if you subscribe today, to get 3 extra items just for you, in addition to everything you're going to get in the Maybox.
Hey, I want that patch and I want that sparkly pair of pink snips. So can
They
that be
are
in my
coming. If
box?
you're already a subscriber, you are already getting them. They're coming too.
Bonuses.
You're clear.
Natalie, thank you so much for chatting with me. I've enjoyed all of the boxes that I've gotten from you so far, and I am looking forward to what's coming in May. And I hope everybody takes the opportunity to sign up for this box if they have been waiting. If you are looking for the link, all of that information will be in the description box below. Thank you for joining me here. It's been a
Thank you so
blast.
much for having me. And don't forget to use that code Becca.
Yeah, absolutely. Use the code Becca. Get all the free stuff.
That's right.
All
Thanks
right.
so much, Becca.
You're welcome. Talk to you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, friends, so much for diving into the contents of this box with me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought overall, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!